My entire life, I've always wanted something paranormal or strange to happen to show me that there is more to this world. And now I finally understand. Again, we're all just stories. I finally understand people in movies that when things happen to them, they don't believe it. And they're hesitant. And this is literally what is happening in my life right now. Because there is proof right in front of me. But I'm on the fence of believing it. But it's getting to more and more to the point where I can't not believe it. Came down here to New Orleans to tell a story, and this is the story that I never expected to be telling. I wouldn't believe it if I wasn't a part of it.
It's hard to believe it's been a few years since that crazy trip to New Orleans. A few years since everything I thought I knew imploded around me. And in that time, I found myself thrust into a world of angels, demons, and deities. A world where the dead are very much alive, and things really do go bump in the night. I'm not going to try and convince you this is all real. It's way too unbelievable for that. All I can do is show you what happened and allow you to make up your own mind. But the realm of the occult affects you whether you believe in it or not. Sometimes you don't go looking for the unknown. Sometimes it finds you. I don't even remember the walk back to the hotel. Also, anything after that. Trying to even remember it now is just so hazy and upsetting. It's like there's just like so much chaotic darkness around, like just around the whole memory.
Just the look on their face was like a fucking zombie. It was creepy. Cig was obviously possessed. It was frightening.
Where's the key?
We get back to the room and immediately Cig falls on the ground.
Be careful. Be careful.
It didn't take too long for there to be a complete vomit fest. Like it was like The Exorcist.
Don't throw up on yourself. Hey, go to the toilet. Go to the toilet, please. Go to the toilet. I'm trying to get you to the toilet. Can you go to the toilet?
I couldn't get them to get off the floor to go to the bathroom to vomit, so I tried to get like an ice bucket so they could vomit in the ice bucket. It was just a lot of vomit, but then eventually there was no more vomit, just a lot of dry heaving. But it felt like they were releasing something as they were vomiting. And I can hear this something in my head saying, go ahead, release it, you're gonna be okay. Even though I wasn't saying this out loud, I could hear something saying they're releasing something. They're getting rid of something. And I'm like, ooh, okay, like, nasty, you know?
You've been laying there for about an hour, maybe longer, and you started mumbling and sounding very bizarre, so I poured water on you to wake you up. So there's something really wrong here. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
I think that you need to listen to me and understand me. When I poured water on you, I was trying to wake you up from something really weird.
I fucking don't like that.
Eventually, Cig is just knocked the fuck out. I'm starving. I was getting sober and I was kind of freaking out because it was a stressful night, so I wanted to find some place to get some food and something to drink. But for some reason, something kept making me feel super safe and super at peace. Almost like I'd been there before. And this is the first time I'd been in New Orleans. And I just so happened to get to a place that had like potatoes and booze.
So the next morning, just trying to shake it off. This is our first free day in New Orleans, so we're gonna explore the city. I don't know, try to try to reconnect with some kind of normal and enjoy the rest of our trip.
Yeah, we're gonna get some sandwiches, like some muffalata. Gonna get a muff sandwich. That sounds all sorts of suggestive.
So in the beginning of the day, Randy's kind of like calling me young man, just slightly talking different here and there.
Son, this young man. Just call me a young man while we're here.
It wasn't Ranny, you know, there's something that was really off about it every time she said it.
I just felt really different. I can't explain it. I felt so at peace. I kind of in the back of my mind started hearing something saying, the streets will take you to where you need to go. Don't worry about it. And that's pretty much what happened.
So I think they said their name is Starlight Lounge. You guys got a washboard. I love it. This is like absolutely appropriate music.
I don't even understand how to cross this road properly. I guess we start walking now. See, no, they're turning. Okay, now I guess we'll walk.
Just found Marie Laveau's House of Voodoo. It took a minute to find it.
We're on this trip. We're enjoying all the human interaction that we encounter.
Awesome.
And I think it's really awesome that you just walked up and you told us a joke.
I'm not trying to show you that. I'm not trying to force a beat on your neck, but I feel like if I can make somebody smile, then I'm not doing something that
You made us smile. You made us smile.
Y'all have a wonderful
You
day.
too. What's happening right now? They said it is an experience. You guys didn't lie. We're experiencing an experience right now.
I missed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's
This is great. Is it
actually
good?
quite lovely.
You like it?
Very fruity.
It's a pleasant thing to put into your mouth. Oh, and we get stickers
really
too. We survived the shark attack.
That is.
So we go around the city and I'm talking to various people about joining my cult. At this point, I feel like the cult is about telling a good story, which is like super vague, but that's apparently what I was thinking at the time. And so I'm spreading a message of everything is a good story. If I start this big cult and it turns weird, then that's a great story too. So this show is so meta because it's like it's creating itself and it's
And we were drinking, we were having a good time. But as the day's going on, Cig starts noticing that I'm at times talking really different. And I was noticing that too. There were times that I would talk and I would have a completely different accent. I mean, I'm just drinking and having a good time, so I thought that was funny. I was just like, whoa, I sound pretty dope, you know? Like, this is weird, but I'll just go with it. People thought I was a local. It was probably one of the most fun times I'd had traveling. I don't think I'd ever felt more at home in a place before, but I think it had to do with the spirits that were guiding me.
So then after checking out a few places, then we decided to get something to eat. And that's when things really started to kick into a really creepy strangeness.
First, Cig is like, what is going on? Why are you talking like that? Why do people think you're a local? And I'm like, I don't know. I felt like I was taking a little backseat and just allowing something to speak through me, which is something I'd never done before.
Randy asked me to turn on the camera.
You got something to say? Here, take it.
I feel like when that thing comes on, I don't do it. I don't want to do it.
Literally just told me to record it. What?
I guess it's gone now. No, it's not gone. Oh God.
And I'm like, whoa. Because I'd never acknowledged it up until that point. I was just letting it flow through me. I was just letting it talk. The way I felt was like fascinated, kind of creeped out, but really interested in what it had to say.
Ever since we've been here, you're talking weird.
Yeah.
And we're having multiple
Sweet young
conversations.
man.
Yeah, she keeps calling me a sweet young man. Where is that coming from?
It's a sweet, comforting emotion.
Wouldn't be so fucking weirded out if I didn't see what I saw the first night. Your whole body language and what you just said was strange and different than what you... Oh, honey, like, you don't talk that way.
Please don't be afraid of me.
And now when she would do a different voice, her face like completely changed. And like, I felt the energy shift. Like, You know how somebody feels like your friend? Like, she didn't even feel like Rannie at that point. And just the way their face was, like, it just looked totally different and sounded totally different. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Let me preface by saying I've had things jump into me before at different times in my life, and it scared the shit out of me, and I just shut that shit down. But for some reason, it felt nice.
You better stay grounded, young man.
I feel like you need to stay grounded.
You are most certainly right.
And it was like taking a back seat and just like allowing this entity to speak.
When do you ever talk that way?
No idea
I
what
feel
I'm
like you're.
talking
I
about.
know. You see why? Like, I'm glad that I'm filming this because this is why I'm getting freaked out by you.
Don't
You're
be
somebody
afraid,
else.
my young man.
You are somebody else right now.
My sweet young man. Do not be afraid of me.
I'm not afraid of you, but you are somebody completely different right now.
And I'm not a woman.
At the time, I thought it was one entity, but fast forward to now and watching the footage, it was obviously multiple entities that were talking through me, masculine and feminine. Very interesting. If you take a look at the way I'm talking, like you could kind of tell when it's someone different. But every one of those voices felt safe to me. It was like I was possessed.
I'm not even sure that I believe what's happening at this point, but I'm just gonna document it. And now I feel like the documentary that I was making about a cult is starting to shift more into whatever's happening about this. So I decided I'm gonna take a rational standpoint and just like ask questions and try to figure this out and see what's going on.
What's your name?
Do I have a name? You know, Lord Jesus. I don't think I have a name.
What are you? Why are you here with Randy?
I'm here to protect you.
I thought I was trying to tell a story about being a cult, but I think I'm telling a different story now.
Story of what, hon?
I also want to mention that throughout the day, these voices were kind of letting me feel safe or kind of telling me that things were safe and that they were protecting me. And I really did feel protected. So I was allowing them to stay around me. That's the first time that that's ever happened, that I allowed spirits to stick around me.
But there's a really strange thing happening here because like with how scary and unnatural it all was, there were moments of like really comforting voices coming through Rannie.
Young man, you have a lot going on for you. You need to stop drinking.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna stop. That's the whole point. I mean,
Okay, well, that's
the whole.
I feel like that's all I want to talk
Is
about
that what
right
you
now.
needed to say? Was that the story you needed to tell?
There ain't no stories. We're just living our lives. Eating our
Everything
bodies,
is a story. That's what I'm saying.
enjoying
Everything
our
is a
food,
story.
enjoying our meal. Thanking the Lord for this delicious meal. Is that what you want to think about? What do you want to think about, my sweet man?
It was really strange because like with this like scariness, there was also a very comforting energy that's like kind of indescribable.
I feel like I'm hanging out with something else, and that scares me. Well, Bonnie, that's
It's
scary.
most certainly here.
She is most certainly here. Do you understand why that's scary? Can you
It
fucking
does.
like take a step back and realize why
Sounds-
that's fucking scary?
Sounds pretty scary.
You're talking like somebody that's fucking possessed.
When we get home, she is going to be transmuted.
I kept saying, oh yeah, I'm okay with this, I'm okay with this. But then they mentioned the transmutation, and I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
It's not just
She
recorded.
is going to be transmuted.
There's apparently some kind of male figure up in you right now because you literally told me I am
Wow,
not a
that's
she.
scary.
Exactly. Do you understand why I'm trying to tell you that I'm scared of you right now?
I mean, I had no idea what any of this meant. This entity saying it's a male and that there's going to be some sort of transmutation of me, and I was kind of creeped out.
It just gets stranger and stranger, and I'm kind of like, I'm trying to have this conversation in a fucking restaurant, and like, I don't even know what's happening at this point, but it's definitely, now I'm starting to get a little bit worried.
You're not listening. You're not grounded. You're not Rannie. Rannie is most certainly here. The fuck? are you doing, dude? You need to kick that shit out. Whether it's good or not, like, you are being fucking possessed by something, and it's not okay, and it's not cool. It
It's
scares
okay
me.
for right now.
So you're allowing something to possess you.
I took it on.
I don't feel like you're you, and you scare me.
So in the past, Rannie has like gotten obsessed with the Ouija boards, and like I felt like she was being possessed back then, you know, just with the interest in the Ouija board. So now I'm really being concerned because she's like, I'm just totally okay with this. Yeah, it's like, that's fine. They're just letting them, they're talking through me. That's fine. And I'm like, this is not fine. This is not okay. It's like a horror film. You shouldn't just be okay. Yeah, like speak through me. That's fine. You know, like no.
Something is in you.
And it's protecting us. And you know what? It got rid of a lot of other things that were around us. The things that attacked you, much more pleasant than what was surrounding me.
Why does anything have to be in you at all?
It's surrounding me. It's not in me.
Do you understand why I'm scared of you?
You don't have to be afraid of me. And I believe you should stop filming me right now.
I'm not sure what we do after we had dinner, but I know it involved more drinking, and then we get back to the hotel.
I'm wasted. We've been drinking all day. I'm exhausted. And I start noticing that I'm just letting this thing talk through me. It was like, it was unfiltered. I'm like gone. I'm just letting these things talk. Well, I wasn't gone. I was there. It's like, imagine taking a back seat in your mind. And I'm allowing something to speak through me. And I'm just fascinated by the words that are coming out of my mouth and the way that I'm speaking, because I'd never spoken like that before in my life. And I haven't since, actually.
I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. But now I'm like, am I losing my mind or are you? I'm not trying to be shitty, I'm just curious.
All I know and all I remember is seeing that woman and seeing this woman now. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I have no idea what you mean.
I have no recollection of what happened before it was passed over.
So I'm getting ready for bed, take out my contact lenses, and I can hear something just complaining about how blind I am.
If you don't want to aggravate me, you may as well help me find my glasses or something.
Rannie needs her glasses, not you.
Whoa, somebody needs
You're a
something.
spirit, you should be able to see shit.
Oh Lord, I can't see shit.
Because you're
This ain't a damn
apparently
thing.
because you're inhabiting a body that can't see shit.
This is a damn thing. I didn't even know it was gonna be a thing.
See, you're still talking about yourself as if you're not yourself. You're scaring me.
But I'm laughing because I'm like, so are you like seeing through my eyes? I didn't know how that worked, but I could just hear something saying like, oh, she's so blind. Maybe we can help her. She's so blind. Oh, this bitch can't see. It was like, I felt like a crazy person.
You are the friendliest, scariest person I've ever
But
met
if
in my
this
life.
ain't a goddamn thing, honey,
Fuck.
I wouldn't know if the glasses were right next to my goddamn feet, honey. You could just
You
look down.
don't talk like that! What the fuck?
This motherfucker thinks it's so fucking funny. Motherfucker, yeah. Bitch, can you please help me find these glasses, honey boy? I didn't just put my hand down here. It was right in front of my goddamn face the whole goddamn time. That's how blind this bitch is.
Because I was drinking all day and I was super tired, I think my vibration was so low that multiple things were hopping in at different times. I feel like that was the height of like just the floodgates were open and anything was popping in, kind of like the Ouija board, like anything was popping in at any given time. So you could hear my accent change multiple times in like within the time frame of a few minutes. It's pretty trippy.
I've never talked like that in my whole life.
I know, and you just keep doing it, and you keep talking to everyone that way. Why are you doing that?
And she didn't even feel like herself, and I'm like wavering in and out of like, this is entertaining, this is funny, but this is also scary, this is exciting, and this is unnerving. I was like in this whirlwind of emotions about whatever the fuck was happening.
You're gonna be hanging out all day, being what I believe to be pretty intrusive, but you're not gonna give me any answers. You're not gonna give me any answers about the afterlife and what the fuck is up with shit.
There's things that you don't and you will not understand about the afterlife, honey boy.
So how are you just like floating on other people's bodies? What's up with that?
I'm not sure how I did it, honey.
Oh, well. So you just got like lost, or you just...
I'm not sure if I'm lost, baby boy.
You need this lady to take you somewhere.
We going to LA, and we are going to be doing a ritual of sorts, honey boy.
Then they're just telling us that they're going to go back to LA with us, and I'm like, fuck, you know, like, what is happening? Like, seriously, this is bonkers at this point.
I'm legitimately terrified of you.
You may as well be, honey.
So what was fucking with me yesterday?
You got a little parasite on your ass.
That's what you keep saying.
And it does not want you to be happy, you young, sweet boy.
Oh, yeah. The creepiest part was the entities talking about the parasites that were in the room.
It's a thing that thinks that it is a part of you, but it ain't. Is what I'm trying to tell you. But it is a parasite and is attached to you, honey.
Normally that would scare the shit out of me. No matter how drunk or tired I would be so scared. But for some reason I was just like, no, there's parasites. Like, I guess we'll deal with it when we deal with it.
I'm talking to something that doesn't even know what it is.
Hey, sweetie, we gonna find out, huh?
What do you mean we're gonna find out?
We're gonna find out when we get to LA.
What does that even mean?
I'm gonna be transmuted and changed into a lighter being, honey.
What is transmutation?
Maybe if you looked in Google or something, maybe you'll figure something out, huh?
My fucking God.
You knew about that Google stuff, huh?
How do you know about Google?
Miss Rannie knows.
I feel like I was kind of falling asleep at times, and these entities were just talking to Cig, probably for hours, about everything.
If you look right over there, in that corner over there, there's something over there.
What corner?
You see right under that light over there, honey. Is that not the thing that pushed you down, honey?
Is it?
It is a thing. It's lonely and fucking just trying to play and shit.
So I could just expect to not have Rannie back until you get back home and you do over this thing.
Like, I'm right here.
You keep saying that. Yeah, now I hear Rannie. Hi. Hello. Hi, Rannie.
Someone talks a little more than me, I guess. I'm a very
You
quiet
fucking
person.
said it's okay for something to be inhabiting you. You gave it permission.
And I'm very okay with it.
These things just seem to be protecting us, and I think that wasn't even a think, it was like a knowing. Like, I know that these things are gonna take care of these, like, parasites or demons or whatever the fuck.
Don't you be... Are you upset, honey? You better drink some water, young man.
I'm not upset. I just don't understand a lot of things.
There are a lot of things that we're not going to understand for a long time because we go through our cycles, honey.
And it was just like a roller coaster of emotions. I was like really sad that but I was curious, like, what's the afterlife like?
It's like, I think this is one of the coolest things and also one of the most terrifying things I've ever
We're going to go
experienced
through
in my
our
life.
goddamn things and you're going to enjoy your life, honey boy. Is he just straight up laughing and crying if that ain't a thing?
Guess that's a thing, dude.
It's a thing,
I guess that's a fucking thing.
You're going to be alright, baby boy.
They were laughing, crying. Cig's like trying to like learn the secrets of the universe, just talking to these ghosts that are just talking to me. And I'm like, I am exhausted. Why is this happening? But I was just letting them talk. And it was funny because there was a really sweet entity. And then there was one that just kept calling Cig a bitch all the time, like a scared bitch. And it was just like really funny.
If you ain't possessed by that young person,
Yeah, we've talked about that.
It's right next to you, honey. You got your little parasite.
Just fucking continue to be more and more terrifying. You're telling me that there is something right next to me.
There's a parasite on you, and there's a thing in that goddamn
You are
corner.
legitimately scaring me.
Hey, if there ain't a bunch of things around you all the goddamn time, honey.
What's the last thing you remember when you had a body?
I think I was hugging my beautiful daughter. You know, I can't for the life of me remember too much more than that, huh? Isn't that a thing? That sweet, beautiful lady. If I could just hold her hand one more goddamn time, I swear. But I don't even know her name. You see people's eyes and you know who they are, huh?
I don't know.
But if I can't remember my daughter's own damn name...
It was really interesting too when there was a female entity that was talking about seeing her daughter, and I felt really emotional about that. I felt like I was talking about my own daughter, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't my thoughts, it was something else talking through me. Just to describe the feeling was very interesting. I really felt this love, and I kept seeing the brown eyes of this person, you know, this daughter.
Honey, I'm not sad. And you shouldn't be sad for me, baby boy.
How is that not a thing? How is that not sad that you can't remember your own daughter's name?
Many lives. I have many daughters, I have many wives, many everything, honey.
Why is that not sad, though?
We get recycled, baby boy.
I actually don't even remember most of the conversations that I had with these spirits until I went back and watched the footage. And I was talking to them for like hours, like really late.
Yeah, I know. What am I supposed to do about it? Gotta go over there. Already fucking fell. Everybody else already fell over there, so I don't.
You're just trying to toss everyone around, honey boy. They toss you around in the damn streets over there, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
And I will do your ass up.
Appreciate it.
You almost fell right into the goddamn crowd.
How sad would that be? Oh my god, how am I supposed to sleep right now? She's telling me there's something in the corner, so I'm stuck between something and a fucking demon in the corner.
It ain't a demon, honey
What
boy.
the fuck?
It ain't a demon.
Parasite, a sad parasite.
I don't want to talk shit, but it's just a thing over there. It's not a demon.
Why is it over there?
I don't know, bitch. It's a fucking goddamn thing.
If this thing is a parasite on me, why is it in the corner?
No, the parasite on you is on you, honey.
Yeah, but what's over in the corner then?
Over in the corner is another goddamn thing.
Jesus fuck. You see what I'm saying? How am I supposed to sleep?
You just close your goddamn eyes and start running your goddamn mouth. That's how you gotta sleep, huh?
There's so much to this conversation that I can't, like, we couldn't even cut into this episode. So if you want to see the full conversation, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/rancig.
I woke up at 4:44 at 2 points, because I woke up at 4:44 real time, and then there was another time that I woke up at 4:44, and it was like the time that was on the microwave, like that was like not necessarily linked up with the real time. So 4:44 seemed important that evening, at least. The next morning, we wake up. In order for me to not have a hangover, I drink some more vodka, and the entities are there, almost like they live in my head now.
I guess these spirits or voices, they're just a staple of Rannie now, because it's just right out the gate, like Rannie's still just talking in all kinds of different voices, and I'm just trying to make sense of it all. Thinking back on it, like there's so many emotions that pop up, and it was just so strange because I can't even describe how traumatic and cool and scary, but like magical it all was. It was all that rolled into one. So I guess it was definitely an adventure.
Alcohol is a big part of the culture down here, so I think there's a reason they call it spirits, and I think that it's a lubricant that sort of connects the living world with the spiritual world. Yeah, and I wonder if that's why New Orleans is like a giant party city, but it's for reasons that people actually don't understand.
What did you say to me? My young white man with his dirty panties.
I really don't know how to say it. Well, he does have his dirty panties on and he don't want to change them, so he's okay with that. He's accepting the fact that he's going to be wearing dirty panties all day. You get your stories when you ask for it, don't you?
Well, I was asking for a good story, and as the footage will tell.
Story that you've been asking for.
You ever think about what we should call you?
Honey, I don't think you want to know. Sometimes you don't want to give a name to things right away.
Okay, that sounds scary a little bit.
Sometimes there are things around you that you don't want to hear.
Okay. Well, how about...
Did I word that right? I meant there are things in this room that don't need to know who I am.
Fair enough.
It was very fascinating because I was actually more present, and every now and then I'm like, I'm here. Really funny hearing these entities speak because they definitely were from another time.
When I fucking, just could not get up when I was outside.
For the life of you couldn't get off.
I know, I remember looking at you like,
boy,
what the fuck?
You were like a little rag doll, weren't you? Were you not a rag doll that day? What day was that? Was that 2 days ago?
It was 4:44.
Anyway. Time went that way.
This is my life. This is happening. So the eyes, we keep our same eyes.
Throughout many lifetimes, honey, you will look in the mirror and you know who you are once you see your own eyes, honey.
They always say it's a window to the soul, right? It's gonna be the greatest documentary ever made. And the best part is nobody's gonna know if it's real or not. You could literally just be acting. You totally could be acting.
This little lady ain't no actress.
As we watched this footage back, Rannie was going through the footage, and when she mentions being gifted tobacco, this is in the future, I had come into the room and I was going to light some tobacco for the spirits. And right as I do that, then she's playing the video and it says,
I would say I've been gifted tobacco smoke, if that makes sense, baby.
That does not make a lick of sense to me.
we're both like, wait, that's pretty fucking weird, because now it seems that there is time outside of time. I gifted tobacco to the spirits in the future, and they were talking about how they had been gifted tobacco in the past in the video. Really weird.
Sometimes when you want to get connected, give someone some tobacco smoke, and it smells so lovely, does it not? What is this for, honey?
You play a game called Dungeons and Dragons with
It's
it.
a question mark where the number should be.
Mm-hmm.
What you wondering about?
I don't know. Life
What you
and
want to know,
everything.
honey?
I want to know everything.
Oh my God. What do you want to know with the numbers? Something's telling us something about numbers, obviously.
I didn't know what to do with that at the time, but later on, numbers it's really important.
I feel like it's a need. It's a human need to call something.
What do you want to call on me as, honey?
Oh man, are you a demon and you're not telling me your name because
What do you think a demon is, anyway?
I don't know what a demon is. Apparently they're malevolent creatures, but also not so malevolent sometimes, and they're just like human beings, I think. We're all sort of fucked up in some way.
Probably not anything like a human, honey.
I don't know.
Well, what do you think that parasite on your body is?
Is that a demon?
I wouldn't say it's that powerful, baby. But it's the thing that's on you.
I feel like I got beat up.
Honey, you were a ragdoll the other day. Don't get it twisted. You were angry at Miss Rannie as if she was doing that to you, but I swear to God, if she wasn't trying to save your poor little ass from getting hit by them cars down them streets. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, honey. It was not Miss Rannie that did it.
I know.
And it was that one
because
poor
I
young
wouldn't be
thing
with
over
somebody
there that
like that.
thinks it's so powerful because it got one lick on you, honey. But it's ain't nothing.
So you see this thing here. What does it look like?
It don't look like a damn thing. That's what I'm saying.
But you see something there. So what's there?
It tried to get a lick on you, and it did.
Well, it did.
And it also threw Miss Rannie across the damn room, did it not?
Sure did. I saw that happen.
That was the last day in that hotel, and the spirits were making it very clear that whatever parasites that were in the room and whatever parasite that had been inhabiting Cig was going to stay there. And I felt so powerful and at peace at the same time when they said that.
How do I make that thing go away?
Honey, it is here, honey.
I know. Well, how do I make it go away?
You can't make it go away. It's just gonna be here. And when we leave, it's gonna stay here.
Okay.
Just
Are
remember that.
you telling it to stay here?
Oh, it already knows.
Well, I feel like you have an air of authority around you, so I believe you.
I really felt like a authority around Rannie, and I really believed that they were helping me. That was definitely helped to quell my nerves a little bit. But I mean, still, like, what the fuck is happening at this point? You know, like, this is not normal.
The spirits were very matter of fact when it came to my protection, so I felt extremely safe.
So it was our last day in New Orleans, and we left the hotel, and Randy just kept saying, the streets will take us where we want to go. And they did. Strange events seem to be like synchronistically happening, and we just happen to be in the right place at the right time. So again, there's another layer of like weirdness happening. She's channeling spirits, and now like weird synchronicities are happening, and it's just, I don't even know. I like, my mind was just all over the place at this point. Man, you just slayed it. So where can we find you on the Instagram?
At La Demon, LAH_demon.
LAH_demon?
Yeah.
It's really interesting too because throughout like walking the streets, I felt like everyone that we interacted with was family. So even when we spoke to Cam, the drummer, I felt like he was my grandson or something. I felt like really connected to this kid.
I've been playing drums in school since I was like 6, so
It's a beautiful thing, baby.
You're doing awesome.
So beautiful, honey.
We're down here impromptu filming this story about like just
Human
enjoying
interactions, baby.
and saying hey to people and hearing their
Acknowledging these beautiful humans over here, huh?
And I think you're a beautiful human and you're doing something amazing. It's great.
thanks.
So as we were talking to Cam, someone walked by and I saw another one of those like shadow demons that jumped on top of me. It was like on somebody that walked by, and like my brain kind of glitched out for a second, and then you can kind of see like everybody sort of glitches out for a second, and then Randy's like, ain't that a thing, you know, and it was like, it was really strange. I can't even describe, like, it was like reality bent for a second, and then I was like, did I miss something? What? You know, but we all felt it somehow.
That wasn't a thing over here, huh?
Did I miss something?
Not too sure. I think we all just missed something because I'm a little confused.
If that wasn't a thing, or a thing that's going on right now, honey.
We were able to hit up Marie Laveau's cemetery. I didn't even know you were supposed to make a reservation, but right when we got there, they were like, oh, are you here for the last showing? And we were like, yes, we are. So we went in, and actually, when we were at Marie Laveau's cemetery and near her grave, something told me to pick up a little piece of moss that was on the ground near the thing. I don't know if that's like something that as people aren't supposed to do, but something possessed me to do it. So I picked up a little piece of this moss that was kind of like near this grave, and I put it in my little pouch in my pocket. For some reason, it felt really important at the time, and normally I would not do that. Like that to me is something that I'd be like, dude, am I gonna get haunted if I do something like that? But I was already haunted, so there you go.
This story only gets weirder and weirder. I'm in the bathroom of this yellow house, but literally a man on the street just told us that he murdered someone.
So after we leave the Marie Laveau cemetery, we were approached by this man that was pretty intimidating.
Very scary. He had tattoos on his face. His eyes were yellow. His head was bleeding. Super scary. And normally, like anything like that, normal me would be fucking terrified.
I just didn't feel afraid of anything. Now I'm starting to understand why Rannie didn't feel afraid, because I didn't feel afraid.
He's all up in our business, and I look him in the eyes, and the entity says, young man, you need to sit down. He had this body language, like he was like, what the fuck? He looks me in the eyes, and he's like, terrified terrified. He's like, I do need to sit down. And he like starts crying.
And then watching the way that Rannie spoke to this person and the way they responded to her words was like, it was like she's pulling some fucking Jedi mind tricks or something on this person.
I put my hand on this guy's shoulder and the entity says, is there something you need to tell me, young man? And the guy says, with tears in his eyes, I killed a man. And the entity says, you most certainly did. And the guy is crying. And the entity says, now go sit down and have something warm to drink. And he looks me in the eyes and he says, are you Jesus? And then the entity's like, he thinks I'm Jesus or something like, and I'm just like, what is going on? So basically the guy ends up going into the gas station and getting like a soup or something and is just sitting on the curb eating the soup. And me and Cig are like, what the fuck is going on?
There was just something very like charming and commanding about the presence that Rannie had now, and it was very different from the past Rannie.
I personally felt really powerful, like, am I Jesus? Or is this Jesus? But it was like a really interesting story.
It's not every day that somebody tells you they killed a guy on the street like that. Like, what? Like, I was tripping out, man. Like, this guy just like is a scary dude just told me that they just killed somebody. Like, what?
As we walked away, that entity said he killed multiple men. And I was like, oh, that's scary.
I wouldn't be believing it if things did not keep happening. That makes me believe it.
So we've spent the day seeing as much as we could of New Orleans, and now it's time to fly out. And we're getting to the airport, and I just begin to feel really strange. And the only way I can describe it is like, yeah, it's kind of like felt like I was dead.
A wonderful and poignant thing is that a spirited restaurant. That's what living in New Orleans is all about.
So, look at that little elephant man over there with his little drink, if that's not a thing.
I'm exhausted. I've been drinking like multiple days in a row, and I keep hearing these voices saying, oh, here it is, we're going to LA, we're leaving, we're going, and it's like, I just felt like I was like, I could not turn all these voices off. It was fascinating for a while, but then I was just like exhausted.
We're about to go on this plane home. Mm-hmm. If that ain't a beautiful thing, I don't know what is home.
And I was kind of scared, like, what is going to happen? Why are these things going home with me? And that flight was terrifying. I felt like I was on a ghost plane. The energy was weird. Everyone's knocked out, and it was just everything felt like death.
And all the light was like desaturated green, like dirty hues. And yeah, it was like everybody looked dead. I was like, am I on a plane of like death? Like I was like really freaked out, man. I thought what happened in New Orleans was crazy, but little did I know, this is just the start of a years-long ordeal, actually. Our entire lives have changed from that moment. And it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. And it's still crazy to this day. Like, we're still experiencing the story that's unfolding, and we're trying to go back and tell what happened then, but so much has happened since then that it's like it's mind-boggling.
As crazy as all of that shit was, man, when we got to LA, I had no idea it was gonna get crazier.
Get ready.
Next on Black Tea and Bourbon.
I just can't stop throwing up.
You gotta get that tuba that young man was talking about, honey.
I'm just so cold.
Look at his little face. Who is he, baby? Oh, it's called a pendulum, huh?
Yeah, it looks like a D20.
Oh, that's what you think.
What the fuck is happening? What is happening?
It ain't a band if there's no tuba, honey.
Looking back, everything is so blurry. It's like your memory was watercolor, and then you just dumped water on it, and it just bled out into this watery, swirly mess of just like I don't know.
Sometimes we see the ones that you can't afford. Get this
I'm not out to tell you what to believe.
money.